Welcome to the Tell Us Ellis podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Tell Us Ellis podcast. This is going to be an exciting episode. We've got a couple of things we're going to cover today. First, I want to start by just going over the college football playoff. I want to make sure everybody understands how it works. You hear a lot about it this time of year. I really started digging in to figure out how do they decide the top 12 teams, what's behind it, and just how does it work. So we'll do that in the first segment. And then Kevin Murphy, a friend from high school, and a friend, boy, I've known him for many, many years. Very good knowledge on football. We're going to talk about the NFL season. We're going to talk about the college football playoff. And then we're going to do the Tell Us Ellis $10,000 picks, where we're going to pick every game and put money towards it and kind of see who ends up with the most money at the end of the year. So that'll be fun. And, we'll go over a couple of other things related to the NFL, surprises, disappointments, things like that. So sit back and hope you enjoy today's podcast. So before I get into any discussions about football or especially college football, I wanted to explain the college football playoff a little bit. I think it can be confusing to some people, and certainly confusing to me. How do they determine these 12 teams that make up the college football playoff? It's not just like they take the top 12 and that's it. And so I want to get into it a little bit. The first thing I'll say is, you'll hear a lot of people at the beginning of the season say, hey, this team is preseason number one, or this team is in the top 10 for the preseason. What they're talking about there is the Associated Press football poll that comes out every week during the season, and it is from Associated Press writers, and they determine a top 25. And when you see that Team A is playing Team B, and Team A is ranked number 3 and Team B is ranked number 5, that is from this AP polls that comes out on a weekly basis. However, there is a totally separate poll that comes out by the playoff committee. The playoff committee is a group of people that get together and they start working in the middle part of the season and start coming out with a top 25 of their own. And it comes out on Tuesday nights. We're awaiting tonight's, I'm recording this on a Tuesday. We're awaiting tonight's updated polling, but they come out with their own top 25 that absolutely determines who is going to make the playoffs. And I want to get into exactly how that works and how they determine it, and what that means to you and I as fans of different screens. So I am going to get into their website and show you their top 25. This is as of last week. So as of last week, their top 25 included Ohio State as number 1, Indiana number 2, Texas A&M number 3, and Georgia number 4, and then so on and so forth. And they have a top 25. Okay. So how do they use this top 25 to then determine the 12 teams that make the playoff? Well, the first part's pretty simple. If you are in the top 4, regardless of what conference you're in, or if you won your conference championship game, regardless of anything, if you are in the top 4, you are one of the top 4 seeds in the playoff bracket. What's important about that is the top 4 seeds all get a bye in the first week of the playoff. So if the season ended today, Ohio State would be number 1, Indiana would be number 2, Texas A&M 3, and Georgia number 4. Okay? They are the top 4. And they are determined, okay? Now, that could very well change between now and the end of the year, but as of right now, those are the top 4. So how do they determine the other 8 teams then for the playoff? Well, there's a second step process that you go through. And basically, they say, look, we want to take the best 5 conference winners, the highest ranked conference winners, and give them a spot in the playoff. So whoever the top 5 conference winners are that are ranked the highest, they will get into the playoff. So let me give you an example, because that might sound a little confusing. If the season ended today, Ohio State would be deemed the winner of the Big Ten. And I say that because they are actually tied with IU, but because they're ranked higher than IU, the committee says Ohio State would be the Big Ten champion. So they would fill one of those spots. They're already in, it doesn't matter. But if they weren't already in, they would fill one of those 5 top ranked teams out of a top 5 ranked conference. Okay. Indiana would not, because Ohio State took that Big Ten spot as the best team in the Big Ten. So Indiana means nothing. Okay. Texas A&M, they are in the SEC, and they are ranked the highest team in this second conference, which is the SEC. Ohio State was number 1. They were Big Ten. Indiana was in the Big Ten. Big Ten's already spoken for. So Texas A&M would be the number 2 team with there'd be the second highest ranked conference champion, is the way I'll say it. However, they're already in, so again, it doesn't matter. Georgia is in the SEC. Well, Texas has already been set, they've already taken that second highest ranked conference championship spot, so Georgia really doesn't matter. In fact, none of those 4 teams matter because they're already in. However, the committee says, who is the third highest ranked conference champion? And if I go down to Texas Tech, well, Texas Tech is in the Big 12. The Big 12 hasn't been spoken for yet. The committee assumes that Texas Tech is going to win the Big 12, and therefore they are in the playoff because they are the third highest ranked conference champion. Ole Miss is in the SEC. The best conference champion from the SEC has already been named. It's Texas A&M. Oregon's in the Big Ten, so they don't count because the Ohio State has already been given that best conference champion, first highest ranked conference champion. Oklahoma is in the SEC, so they've already been spoken for. Notre Dame is an independent. They don't count. They have no conference affiliation. Alabama's in the SEC. BYU is in the Big 12. Utah is in the Big 12. So the only teams up through the first 12 that are in the championship or in the playoff as of today would be Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Texas Tech. We have to go all the way down to Miami to get the fourth highest ranked conference champion. They would be considered the 4th highest ranked conference champion because they're from the ACC. The 5th highest ranked conference champion, you have to go all the way down to Tulane at number 24. They're in the American Conference. They're the 5th highest ranked conference champion. And now you have filled out several of the playoff spots. Again, the first 4 are automatics. Then you look at the highest ranked conference champions, which we already said Ohio State was 1, but they're already in. They're from the Big Ten. Texas A&M is 2 out of the SEC. They're already in, so that doesn't really matter. The 3rd highest ranked conference champion is Texas Tech out of the Big 12, so they're definitely in. And then we go to Miami out of the ACC. They're the 4th highest ranked conference champion because all the ones above them their conferences have been spoken for. And then Tulane is the 5th highest ranked conference champion because all of the ones above them have been spoken for. So now we know Tulane is in, Miami is in, Texas Tech is in, plus the top 4. So you have 7 teams now that qualify for the playoff. How do they get the other 5? Well, it's simple. Who haven't we put in the playoff yet that is ranked the highest? And that would be Ole Miss at number 6, because remember, Ohio State's in, Indiana's in, Texas A&M's in, Georgia's in, Texas is in as the 3rd highest ranked conference champion. So Ole Miss would be in, Oregon would be in, Oklahoma would be in, Notre Dame would be in, and Alabama would be in. We have now filled out our 12 teams. The top 4, the 5 highest ranked conference champions, which we had some overlap with the top 4, so it was really the 3 highest ranked conference champions. And then 5 at-large teams that are the highest ranked teams that have not been spoken for. Okay? So that's how we get into a playoff bracket. I'm going to show you what that playoff bracket looks like. Again, this is if the season ended today. We told you about those top 4 teams. The top 4 automatically qualify: 1 Ohio State, 2 Indiana, 3 Texas A&M, and 4 Georgia. The other 8 teams are the highest ranked conference champions that have not already been spoken for. And if you recall, that was Miami, that was Tulane, and that was Texas Tech. And then you fill out the rest with the next highest ranked teams, which included Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Alabama, Oregon, and Ole Miss. Okay. All of these teams are simply ranked by where they fall in the rankings. So yes, you have your top 4 and they are seeded 1 through 4, just as they finished 1 through 4. The rest, whether they were Tulane at 24th, Miami at 13th, whatever, everybody gets ranked according to the top 25 rankings from the committee. Okay. So like I said, Tulane is the worst team, the lowest ranked team. So they're going to get the 12th seed, right? The next lowest ranked team that made the playoff at this point would be Miami at number 13. That is why they come in at the number 11 seed, and so on and so forth. So hopefully that makes some sense of it. I think it'll be really interesting if we talk about this next week once the new playoff comes out and we can really see how things changed and you'll get more familiar with it. The best part will be conference championship weekend when everything can change, because if Miami is in here as a conference champion and number 11, and Tulane is in there at number 12, and Texas Tech at number 5. They're all in there because they're conference champions. Well, what if they get upset in the conference championship game? Will they still be ranked high enough to get in? It'll be pretty phenomenal to figure that out. So hopefully that's helpful, and that you learned a little something there. Hopefully so. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tell Us Ellis. It is me, Jamie Ellis, with a very, very special guest today. Many of you know him. Many of you love him. I don't think anybody hates you, Kevin, but I think
sure there's somebody out there.
So Kevin Murphy and I have been friends since high school, good friends since high school. He is my go-to football guru. Kevin played at Allegheny College in addition to high school football, and is a lover of the NFL, and I think a little bit of a lover of maybe placing some wagers here or there. I don't know.
I've been known to dabble.
So what we're going to do, we're going to try to do this on a weekly basis and just go over some NFL stuff. And then at the end, what we want to do is just do a little pick 'em where we go through each of the games for the coming week. Each of us pick our winners with the point spreads, or you can pick an over-under if you want. We're going to start with $10,000 each, and we're going to hopefully make that last through the end of the season and just pick our winners and see each week who's got more money. And hopefully by the end of the year, I have more money than you, but who knows, Kevin? Who knows?
Time will tell, Jamie.
Time will tell. So let's get into it. I thought maybe we just start off with talking about college football a little bit. And this, it's been a great year of college football. I'll tell you, with the new playoff, it's really added an element of fun that I kind of expected, but not to this extent. Kevin, what do you think? I mean, this will be the second year of the 12-team playoff. What do you think? What's that brought to college football?
Well, I think it's brought a ton. The interest level from all over, I think has been at an all-time high. Conversation, the barroom conversation, the end tape conversation in your house has been about performance, and is a make it, break it situation. And I like.
Do you feel like it's taken some of those situations out? Well, I always go back to my senior year at Penn State, right? Nebraska, Penn State, Nebraska number 1, Penn State number 2. We didn't even get a chance to play them. Feels like it's taken some of that out, but I guess it's kind of moved it backwards a little bit. You're going to have some teams in that 12, 13 range that they're going to feel left out of it. But don't you think it's still better? You're probably getting, for the most part,
12 really good teams in the playoff.
And let's be honest, it's a whip, right? It's a work in progress. And they started with 4, expanded. Wasn't real happy with the way they expanded it the first time. I felt that teams give it an easier path than others. You get to 12, I think it starts getting more thinned out. Quite honestly, I think 15 is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
I think that's the number.
Could you see him going to 16? I mean, that's been the talk.
Yeah, especially if they're given those buys. You know what I mean? Especially if you're giving the buys to the top 4. And it just seems to flow, doesn't it? 16, 14 region sort of the country. And yes, we've all been raised on top 20, top 25 number. It's 16. Heck, you're 50% of the teams are in.
Yeah, that feels right. It's interesting when you look at it. There's some good things there, like the top 4 are going to get the top 4 seeds, right? Then they do have that conference component where, hey, if you're one of the top 5, I think, conference champions, the best record of those top 5. So it gives teams a chance, like, I think last week Tulane was in there as the number 12. They might not be the best team, but at least they're recognizing some conferences outside of the major conferences. So it feels like they captured that as well.
And like I said, I do think it is a work in progress. So I think it's going to continue to get better. It's proven to be successful.
Yeah.
Right? The interest factor is there. People are interested. And what does the like more than anything talking?
Yeah. Completely agree. Is there anything
you and I were, March Madness was the coolest thing ever, right? Watching Sunday. So I sort of has that type of feel.
Yeah. It was interesting when you look at how they pick the playoff right now, and I did some research on this week. It's like, they had Miami, for example, in the playoff. And the reason they had Miami in the playoff is because they said, hey, that is the best team in the ACC, and we're going to assume that they win the ACC championship. And that it's an interesting way of looking at it, because here we are with one kind of regular season week left. And when you look at Miami's path to the playoff, it's a daunting task. I don't know if they're going to get to the playoff. So I just looked at it. It's like last week they had Miami in the playoff. I think it's more realistic looking at the teams that are ahead of Miami in the ACC. You have SMU that's ahead of them. And I think Pitt's ahead of them right now. So Miami could be on the outside looking in when all is said and done. They just need to make it to a conference championship game and hope they win it.
And hope they win it. Yeah, take care of their own business. But in a lot of ways, I don't have a problem with putting Miami in there with the assumption they will take care of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I would.
It's basically saying they feel they're high if they do what they're supposed to do the rest of it.
Yeah. It's another team I think that we should keep an eye on is James Madison. James Madison, they have one loss right now. They weren't in the last grouping, but they had a big win this weekend. It was against Washington State. Washington State is not the dominant team that they have been or could be, but Washington State's a very good team historically from what used to be a big conference. I just wonder if James Madison might leapfrog a Tulane this week and get in from I think they're in the Sun Belt Conference, and maybe be one of those top 5 teams out of a conference and potentially sneak in this week.
When you start talking about late compared to Madison, I do think there's a difference, and it leans more towards a Tulane, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard because I'd love to root for James Madison, but at the end of day, I think about depth and I think about specialty. So say Gene Madison's out on the field against Tulane. Who's going to have the better kickoff team? Who's going to have the better point team? Who's going to have the better string strong? Those are the that I think this game has to guard again between finding a darling sweetheart and having a blowout game people watch halftime and they turn off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you look at Tulane, a couple of years ago, I think they beat USC in a bowl game. This is all kind of new to James Madison. They've had some successful.
Washington State game was at JMU.
Yeah, true.
That's a travel game for them. Maybe a little less of a crowd. But James Madison, they did. I mean, it was a heck of a scene.
Yeah.
Tulane, though, it's funny you bring them up. I've had my eye on them for the last couple of years. They built that stadium.
Yeah.
And man, they exciting.
Yeah. It is fun seeing those teams do good things, have some big wins, get the crowd around them. And in this day and age of what is essentially free agency in college football, you can add some players here or there and sustain success. So, Kevin, any chance my Nittany Lions somehow, I guess not. Yeah,
no,
it's not going to happen.
We don't have enough time to go over all that. Maybe that's a thing.
Fair enough. Well, let's move on to the NFL a little bit. It's been, I don't know about you. I mean, I live for the NFL. I love, I'm kind of depressed right now because I feel like you get to Thanksgiving and we're on the backside of the season. And it's like, how can we be there already? But,
it's funny. I have the same conversations. You're in Indiana. I'm in Pennsylvania. I have the same conversation with my friends. It's almost melancholy, right? Like, like the end is right ahead.
It's depressing. And I want to get excited. It's like we've got football coming up here on Thursday. There's a game on Friday, games on Sunday. But we're like nearing the home stretch here, and I'm starting to feel that depression. But it's been a fun year. It's been a surprising year, like some weird things. So, I thought we'd just start by talking about maybe 3 of the more positive surprises this season. And I'm happy to start because I'm happy to say my own Indianapolis Colts, take away that loss this past weekend, which is still troubling me in Kansas City, a game they could have won. But if you would have asked me, Jamie, how would you feel if the Colts were 8-3 at this point in the season? I would have been doing backflips. They leaned into Daniel Jones. And in fairness, Kevin, the day they signed him, you texted me and you said, I love this move. He's a baller. He can play.
Daniel Jones fan. It goes back to his days at Duke, obviously. I thought he got an unfair shake at New York with the Giants. And obviously we've seen where that organization gone. So for him to get a breath of fresh air and get into Indianapolis, and what was going to serve him well. I think the second stint as an NFL starter was going to serve him well. And let's be honest, the Colts have been last couple of years. So to see them get over the hump with a quarterback didn't surprise me. I'm happy with it too, though.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. Now I look at them though right now, they lost to Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago. They lost to Kansas City this week. They sit here at 8-3. They have the Texans twice, the Jaguars twice, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. And that's not an easy schedule.
Not after the last couple of weeks. You don't want to play any of those.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I look at it, if you can split against your division opponents and go 2-2 and then split against the Seahawks and 49ers, that gets you to 11 wins. I'll take 11 wins this year.
In today's NFL, 11 wins is a great season.
Yeah.
I look at the Colts loss, and the one thing that stood out, I watched both of those games very tightly. What was how they, and I think it says more. Losses of the NFL, right? You're on the road. One was overseas. That stuff happens. But to see him play against a Kansas City team that the back was against the wall immediately. They almost think that's the most dangerous NFL team to play, right?
Yeah.
The one that's backed up against the wall and has to keep winning. Uh, and where the mistakes made, there were. It wasn't their best game, but once again, a road game against a very tough opponent, back up against the wall once in their home game. I don't want to say losses that are excusable, but watch the tape, learn, be ready to play. Don't let this, sit for false speed and out. Move on. It's a great team you lost.
Yeah, you look at their losses, 7 points to the Steelers, 7 points to the Rams, who might be the best team in football, and then 3 points to the Chiefs. So again, I'm thrilled
The very
with where they are.
right games to the very end, they kept fighting. So yeah, good positive one.
Well, what about you? What's one of the big surprises you've seen this year in the NFL?
I don't know that one team, other than quite honestly, really stick out. The Rams, they are tough. And I always look at that coach, whose name alludes now, but he always in,
McVay.
yeah, always in control. And he feels like, in my mind, you one right. He's just in total control of that.
Yeah.
And after the numbers being up this year at his time in his career are very impressive.
Yeah, he if you look at MVP candidates, I looked at this today. I think Stafford's minus 220 right now to win the MVP. The next highest is Drake May at plus 280. So he's in a good spot to win an MVP award. And it's pretty crazy because I think for a while we were wondering if he was going to even quarterback this year, that he might be leaning more towards retirement.
Well, it's going to be one of these. And but man, he is, and I think it goes back to the coach. I think he's comfortable.
Yeah.
Like he's never really bad spot.
Yeah.
At his age, hurt, but balls from the fans going out to wide open for most. I've never seen receivers over than the Rams. It's bizarre. I mean, you're talking about the best. That's just saying the Rams side. They're more open. So
Yeah. You look at they're 9-2 right now. You look at their remaining games. They've got the Panthers, who you would think would be a win, the Cardinals, who you would think would be a win, the Lions, which should be a good game, although the Lions are falling upon a little bit of hard times right now, the Seahawks, who are a very good team. That'll be a great game. And then they finish with the Falcons and the Cardinals. So that feels like 2 wins there. This could be a 13-win team. I mean, that's number 1 seed territory. Yeah, I agree. Fantastic team, fantastic coach.
and what you said with what's ahead of them is extremely manageable.
Yeah.
Extremely. The Detroit got some questions they have to answer. They haven't looked good for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. Struggling.
Plateauing. I don't know.
Well, what about the other side of things? What about disappointments? I mean, I can start here, and I think I'll start with the Bills. And I only say that, they sit here, they're 7-4, and that's not a bad record, but just the way they've been playing, they're so up and down. I don't know what to expect. They come out and they lose to the Texans, a week after they beat, was it Kansas City or they had a big win. I don't know what to expect from them. they'll be a playoff team. I would have to imagine they'll be a playoff team, but I just feel like, they were my preseason pick to win the Super Bowl, and something's just not clicking there with them.
Yeah, I agree, and I can't necessarily put my finger on it. I have a lot of Baltimore fans, and they're from Niagara Falls, New York, and Buffalo itself, and they've been through the heartache.
Yeah.
And I think, like you were expecting this year to sort of be where they announced themselves as upper echelon NFL powerhouse, and I don't think they have.
Yeah.
They got Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, their offensive line struggling. I can't blame Josh Allen. I mean, the guy's a great quarterback, but just feels like something's not right. It's funny. You look at them, you look at the Chiefs, and you look at the Ravens, and I think all three of them, you'd say something just isn't right. Like with all three of them, they're just not clicking. Now the Bills, again, I looked at their schedule. They've got the Steelers, the Bengals, the Patriots, the Browns, and the Eagles. You'd have to think they'll win a majority of those games, maybe 3 of the 5. Oh, and then the Jets as well. So maybe 4 of the 5. I could see them getting to 11 wins or so. And once you're in the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but that team has to make a move, right? It's not enough. I
Yeah.
think Super Bowl or bust roster.
Yeah.
They got rid of some answers. They have that roster the way they do it. That offense has got to sharpen up.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, franchise quarterback. He had zero.
What about the Chiefs, Kevin? So they big win against the Colts. They definitely needed it. They're 6-5. But I look at their games like, okay, they played a hard game, an overtime game against Indy on Sunday. They're playing the Cowboys on Thursday, which all of a sudden, that's not a cakewalk. That's not an easy game. That'll be a fun game to watch. They've got the Texans. They've got the Chargers, the Titans, but then the Broncos and the Raiders. I mean, that's not an easy schedule. They're not guaranteed to make the playoffs here.
No, but if they do make it, they're one of those 8 teams, right?
Yeah.
Basically, they're in a playoff game every week, right?
Yeah.
There's no rookies factor, no carries or anything like. It's all that to give every next opportunity.
Yeah.
Game is important game. Usually, you're not. I mean, Thursday's going to be it. Hey, I wouldn't put him right now.
No, and it kind of is a must win because, again, the Texans, Chargers, and Broncos are going to be tough games. They could that could be 3 losses right there. They can't really afford that. They really need this game on Thursday.
Yeah, and just to talk about that Eagles Cowboys game, what a bad loss for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like,
what's going on? What's
game?
You just don't know what's going on. I mean, their offense isn't clicking. Saquon Barkley hasn't had the year, obviously, that he had last year. There's rumors about unhappiness with Jalen Hurts. It just feels like a little bit of an implosion there.
Well, yeah. Coming off of that Super Bowl and the way they started this season, there were probably 2 or 3 games at the beginning of the season. I had Eagles fans that hoped it would be 2-2.
Yeah.
With the way they started the whole 4 games of the season, the way it looked on schedule. I was Eagles fans. I'll take 2. They go and they look rolling. Then they start to show a little. They start to show some weakness. They're not putting teams away, and then it caught up. I mean, in the NFL, we were playing.
21-point lead. Yeah, you just can't do it. You can't give up a 21-point lead.
Well, not in the NFL, not on the road.
Yeah.
And exactly not the Cowboys. It's a divisional rival. You hate them.
It's weird. The Cowboys, I remember that Sunday night or Monday night game against Green Bay and how hard they played that game. I think it ended up in a tie. They're kind of a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde, but they're I don't know if they're a playoff team, but they're playing hard right now. That's for sure.
Well, just go back and come full circle on that game. Let's just circle that and see how the Eagles respond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Agree.
Let's see if this was a sign of bad form.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Well, Kevin, let's turn to this our last segment, which is I think going to be pretty fun. You and I may have partaken in some gambling through the years. J83 just rings in my head sometimes. I don't know. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to I'll read the game off and I'll give you the spread and the points. And I'll give my pick and the amount of dollars I'm going to put down on it. And then you give me your pick, and then we'll check every week and see where we are.
Okay, fire away.
So let's start with obviously the Thursday game. So we've got the early game, Green Bay at Detroit. Detroit is at home and they're -2.5. The total is 48.5. And because Detroit is at home, I'll make my first pick here. Because Detroit is at home, I'm going to go ahead and take Detroit minus the 2.5. I'm not feeling great about it, so I'm going to put a total of $200 on that game.
That first game on Thanksgiving Day is like a feast your family. That thing either goes over by halftime or they score 21 points total at the end. So I'm looking a little more under.
Okay.
And I'm going to go.
Okay. Over the 48.5.
The Pack, Detroit, both teams need to play better. Short is it be more offensive than defensive. I'm going to get the lead the offense and say they had circles. So let's do 300.
All right. And don't forget, they definitely get the turducken after the game. So they're all going to be fighting for the turducken.
It's a little extra.
All right. I'll let you do this one first. Kansas City at Dallas. We've talked about it. Dallas is getting 3.5 points at home. The over-under is 52.5. What do you think?
I'm going to stay with my theme of over-unders and go 200.
200 under. So under 50.
Stay away from side on that. I just don't know.
Yeah. I don't either. You know what? I'm going to take Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas because Kansas City comes off a big win. I'm going to take Dallas and take the points, the 3.5. Again, I'm just going to stick to my $200 right now because I don't feel great about that, but I'm excited for the game. It should be fun.
I think it'll be absolutely.
Well, then we've got the nightcap with a returning Joe Burrow, I understand. Is that the case? So Cincinnati is at Baltimore. Baltimore is at -7 in this game. Feels like a lot of points. Over under is 51.5. Kevin, Baltimore is just, I know they won 5 in a row. They just don't impress me right now. Lamar Jackson's just not impressing me. I'm going to take Cincinnati plus the 7 points. That's just too many points to give. And I'm going to put $500 on that one.
I am going to use my gambler's knowledge that just too easy. That line is too easy. So I'm going to put 100 on the Ravens.
The Ravens. So you're gonna give up 8.5 points.
I think the easy pick is to sit there and look. Oh my God, how does Cincinnati lose 8.5?
Or I'm sorry, it's 7 points. It's 7.
But that's a number, a big number. And Burrow's that it just doesn't drive up. And maybe this is where the Ravens show us who hope to be this year. So I'm going to 200.
200. All right. Now we'll move to, the Friday game, the special Friday game, the Black Friday game. We've got another really good game, surprisingly. We didn't talk about this team, but the Chicago Bears are at Philadelphia. You asked, how is Philly going to respond this week? Philly is -7 at home. Total is 44.5.
Man, I watched that Bears game. It was entertaining. Caleb Williams just keeps them in it. Keeps them in it. A lot of different guys catching balls there. Heck, they have different people running it out of the backfield. I've got to get you. But once I'm only 200
200, and I'm sorry, who did you say?
Eagles.
Eagles? Yeah.
Whenever you saw where they're all Black Beauties for Black Friday.
Oh, they should. That absolutely they should. I'm not a believer in Chicago. I put money on Pittsburgh this weekend, even though they didn't have Aaron Rodgers. Chicago pulls these games out. I think Philly is going to come out and have something to prove. I'm going to go the same. I'm going to go Philly -7, and I'll put 200 on that one too. I just don't feel great about it. So,
yeah, I'm going low. I'd be embarrassed to limp into the final week and only have $400.
Yeah, well, I'm worried about that too. We might have to bring a bank on board to fund us. I don't know. All right, moving to Sunday's slate then. Houston at Indy. Indy is -4.5. The total is 44.5. Houston's got a good defense, but I think that Jonathan Taylor is going to have a really good game against this Houston team. I'm going to take Indy minus the 4.5. I'll put $300 on it. They have something to prove.
I'm going to stick with my 200 number, but I'm going to do the under.
All right. So under the 44.5. I was thinking about the same thing. That said, the Colts, they're averaging 28 points a game or so, but Houston does have a very good defense. So
yeah, and playing good football as of late.
All right, let's move to an AFC South game. We've got Jacksonville at Tennessee. This is one of those games where I think, if you have 2 tickets on your dashboard, somebody's going to break into your car and add 2 more tickets instead of take them away, because I just don't think this is the most exciting game. Jacksonville at Tennessee. We've got Tennessee plus 6.5. Totals 42.5. What do you say?
I'm going to go 400 on Jackson.
Jacksonville minus the 6.5.
You got a team there that appears to enjoy playing with each other. They seem like they have a good team vibe. I like them on the road. Us against them. Let's get a W. W's important to Jacksonville.
Jacksonville still has a chance to win this division pretty easily.
Well, it was a weekend.
Yeah.
In that playoff picture. And Tennessee is in Tennessee's situation. But I Jacksonville won me 400.
So I'm going to take the over in this game. Tennessee's they've had a lot of points scored against them. Jacksonville put up some points this past weekend. I'm going to go over the 42.5, and I'll do 200 on it. Let's go to another barn burner of a game here, Kevin. The New Orleans Saints at the Miami Dolphins. And I'll start this one. Boy, I will say, I will say Miami, I think, is playing a little bit better, and they're at home. I'm going to go ahead and take Miami minus the 6. I'm only going to put 200 on it again. I just don't understand how the Saints win any games. They're not an impressive team. I think Miami. Yeah, very, very. But no, I'll do Miami minus the 6 for 200.
I'm going to do Miami for 100.
Okay. So this is an interesting one. San Francisco, who I can't figure out. They're up and down, but Brock Purdy's back now. But San Francisco at Cleveland. Cleveland is getting 5.5. The over-under is only 37.5. I can't remember if I said this is you or me, but go ahead. Why don't you go ahead? Go.
349.
300 on San Francisco minus the 5.5. I'm all
Long time. Keep in mind, a lot of my experience from Youngstown, you don't. This is the hard of those in Cleveland.
That's a good point. And you know what? One I didn't think about. So maybe I'll even do a little bit more on San Francisco. You should have. So I'm going to go San Francisco minus the 5.5. I'll put 400 on it.
I should have gave it. I gave that to you.
This next one, Arizona at Tampa Bay. Tampa is -3, and it's 44.5. And I don't know if Baker Mayfield's playing in this game or not. He got back.
I was on. She was.
That he was. The line would tell me that he is. Let me just check here. Baker Mayfield, encouraging update. Not sure if he'll play yet or not. So I'll tell you what, regardless, Tampa's coming off a couple of losses here. I'm going to take Tampa Bay in this one, minus the 3. Arizona just doesn't impress me. I'm going to put 500 on that one.
I'm going to do 200 under.
On Tampa?
200 under.
200. I'm sorry, say it one more time.
200. The
Under.
Yeah.
Under 44.5. Very good. Okay. Another barn burner. Boy, we've got some barn burners. Atlanta at the Jets. The Jets are getting 2.5, over under 39.5. What do you think?
I'm actually getting $300 to do that game in person. Somebody's paying me to watch it. But I have to start from the beginning to the very end.
Well, more power to you then.
That is like we have to.
We have to take every game. Now, Kirk Cousins, is he playing? I think he's quarterbacking for Atlanta now.
Yeah. You like that.
So what are you thinking?
Now when he was off the field for the Redskins, how you like that or you love that? What was it?
I forget. I still picture it. You like that?
Copyright? Yeah, he yelled it at the reporter.
So good. So good.
Do you know what? You know what he did in that game?
I don't remember the stats.
He went in and filled in for RG3.
Okay.
Led them to a come from behind opportunity with like 8 seconds left. And Cousins ran the ball on a rollout. And I think that's why he was so pumped up because everybody was like, he can't do this. We can't do that. RG3 can do this for us. And I think he was tired of hearing it. And he literally ran it a touchdown. It was in Washington.
Well, I'm glad he didn't hit his head off the goalpost like who was it? Gus Farad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad at least he didn't do that.
Yep.
Well, you've got to make a pick here, Kevin. I know you're delaying. Under for 100. Under 39.5 for 100 for Kevin. As much as I just don't even want to bet this game, I'm going to take Atlanta minus the 2.5 for 100. This next game's interesting. Even though they lost last night, the Rams are at Carolina. And if you look at it, Carolina is fringy kind of division winner-ish. I think they're a game out, believe it or not. That said, this is the Rams, and the Rams are one of the best teams in the NFL. So Rams at Carolina getting 10.5 points, over under 44.5. And I will say, I'm going to go over the 44.5, and I'll do 200 on it.
That's interesting. I'm going under
Under the 44.5
for 200.
for 200.
I think that game's going to be called keep away. I think you're going to see Carolina really try to slow game down.
They don't look bad all the time. Like they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde. They're just not quite there yet. But boy, if they won that game, that would be a huge win for them.
It'd be instrumental. I mean, it'd be the biggest of the season.
Next game is Minnesota at Seattle, a very good Seattle team. Super Bowl possibility. Seattle is minus 10.5, 41.5 is the over under. What do you say?
It's a tough place to play. I think I am going to take Seattle.
Seattle minus the 10.5 for 200. Boy, this is a tough one. Just the quarterback play in Minnesota has just been so bad. I'm going to take Seattle as well, minus the 10.5, and I'll do 200 as well.
I think the interesting thing is when Minnesota, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, that roster in the last.
Yeah.
Like if you're if you're in that organization, you gotta have some questions on what did we see? What do we see? McCarthy, we didn't like you guys. I mean, the done such a good job of keeping young
Yes.
breath. Is there a McCarthy Darnold roster?
Yeah. Yeah, it's McCarthy. I questioned him coming out of college, and he won. He won in college, but I don't know. They put a lot into him this year, and Darnold's looked great. He was good last year, very good. Near the end, maybe he faded a little bit, but he's looked really good in Seattle. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
I just think if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, you got to be asking the question. Management.
I agree.
You're putting he already got hurt. He was coming back. Yeah, he does. Not much to be impressed about in Minnesota on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Next game, Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are minus 10. 41.5 is the over under. I think this is me to start. That's a lot of points.
That's interesting. How many double digits?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I'll tell you what, I will. I'm going to take the Chargers still minus the 10, and I'll do 200 on it.
What's your
41.5.
I'll go under for 250.
Under 41.5 for 250 or 350? 250. All right, very good. Okay, we're getting somewhat of a good game, I think, here. It'll be an interesting game. We've got Buffalo at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's plus 3.5. Over-under's 47.5. Big number. I'm going to go under the 47.5, and I'll put down 400 on it.
I'm gonna do the over, and I'm gonna do 250.
250?
250.
All right.
Yep. That's gonna be a huge game. I gotta think both fan base will show up. Played on grass, probably gonna be full deck. Sort of just it's the image of the Buffalo like.
Well, it's interesting. If Pittsburgh wins, I look at the Ravens right now. The Ravens lost to Buffalo, so there's some tiebreaker stuff there for the division. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think Baltimore still plays Pittsburgh twice this year, maybe?
Yeah, I found it interesting.
Yeah.
That played in the season. But no, that's absolutely right for each other.
So I think this is an important game for Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens. They're going to play hard. I think they'll play hard. Mike Tomlin teams always play hard. Sunday night.
They always finish 500. They always finish 500 or above.
They do. They do. Sunday night, we've got Denver, the Denver Broncos at the Washington Commanders. Washington's getting 6.5, over under 43.5.
I'll go over 300.
Over 43.5 for 300. I'm going to take Washington plus the 6.5. I just think Denver finds ways to win, and I think they'll win this game. I just don't know if they're going to do it by more than 6.5. So I'll do Washington plus the 6.5. I'll put 200 on it.
Denver looks like a team that needs to grow.
Yeah.
Like you said, they'll win, cover. They'll be leading, losing, and losing. They got some points thing before you really seriously. But I think the pieces.
Yeah, it's interesting. You see teams like the Colts, like Denver, like San Diego, perhaps. If the Buffaloes, the Chiefs, and the Ravens make the playoffs, boy, you feel like those three teams, the kind of old school big three, that they would take care of business against the Denver and Indianapolis, Jacksonville, whoever it might be. So, yeah, I don't know. They're winning, but
Denver reminds me of the Colts 3 years ago without a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think Denver has their quarterback. I just don't think they have every other piece they need right now.
Yeah.
To be that team.
Yeah. Well, last game on the slate is Monday night, and it is the New York Giants at the New England Patriots. Patriots are minus 7.5. 46.5 is the over-under. Very good chance the Patriots end up with the number 1 seed in the AFC. It's unbelievable, but their schedule is just really good. I will take, the Giants play hard. They play hard. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take under the 46.5 for 200.
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do 100. I'm going to do the under for 100.
Under 46.5 for 100. Very good. Well, we've got them all tallied up. I have a website that I'm putting together. It's a little patchy here and there, but I'm going to post this on the website so all of the viewers can look at it and make fun of us all weekend long. But Kevin, I enjoyed this. We will record again next week. We'll see where we are. And any good parting words for you? No,
this was a lot of fun. I really, always good to talk with you. And whenever you and I are together, sports is our topic. So it seems very natural.
It is always fun. All right, Kevin. Well, thanks so much.
All right, everybody, that was a great show today. I want to thank Kevin Murphy for joining the show. Kevin, again, will be with us every week as we go through our football picks. If you want to reach me, I can be reached at jamie@tellusellis.com. You can also find me on X at TellUsEllisHQ or on Instagram at TellUsEllisHQ. And all of our podcasts are broadcast on my YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/@TellUsEllisMedia. Again, thanks for a great show, and I will see you soon. Take care.